Alright, hello. Today and in this week, I guess you could call it, we will be doing some transit shenanigans in Florida. First, we'll be going to Disney World to do some field research for my trip planner, then going to Miami to ride around on the transit there, and also to go to the Gold Coast Railroad Museum to basically drive their trains. And then we'll be coming back to Orlando and doing a speed run of Disney Transport. That last one will probably be a separate video, but I hope you enjoy. And if you want to see more stuff than what's in this video, consider joining my Patreon or YouTube memberships and get access to an extended cut of this video. All right. Hello, Editing Ian here. There are a few things that were supposed to be Patreon exclusive that I actually want to share in the main cut. Those being the fact that our train to the airport skipped Arts Center due to quote-unquote police activity, as well as the takeoff and landing of the plane, and lastly the fact that due to new fare gate construction at the airport station, we had to go out the emergency exit and back in the terminal through the main entrance instead of through the MARTA entrance. I unfortunately was not able to film all of that due to MARTA police and MARTA not liking people filming, but I was able to get some of it. Enjoy! Instead, we're not stopping at Arts Center because of police activity.
For customers requesting a wheelchair on arrival, we'll advise you upon reaching the gate when assistance is available to disembark the aircraft. You may receive an email asking to share your feedback. We value user responses to improve future travel experiences. On behalf of Disney New York and Detroit-based crew, thank you for choosing Delta. We look forward to seeing you soon.
The flight down was on March 3rd. That is March 3rd of 2026, in case you're watching this in the future. On March 4th, which is Marching Band Day, if you know, you know, I first took not Lynx, I took SunRail to Lynx Central Station to film the buses at Lynx Central Station, and then I rode Lynx to Disney World to do some fact finding for my Disney Transport trip planner. I will put a link to that in the description and as a card in the top right corner. Although note that it is still beta, so there are still bugs and it is not at a completed point yet.
This is the Winter Park Station. Esta parada es Winter Park Station. This is the Winter Park Station. Esta parada es Winter Park Station. Welcome to SunRail. Please have your Sun card ready for inspection. Bienvenido a SunRail. Por favor, tenga su Sun card lista para la inspección. Ride right and please be courteous to others. Keep your feet off seats. Keep mobile devices and conversations low. Refrain from eating and make room for others by holding on to your belongings. Thank you for riding SunRail. Viaje bien y por favor sea cortés con los demás. Mantenga sus pies en el piso, no encima de los asientos.
As seems to be a pattern with Lynx, the windows at the back of the bus were dirty, really, really dirty, as you can see here. And also, I might add Gillig Bar, because of course. Once at Disney World, I took the monorail from the TTC to the Magic Kingdom, and from the Magic Kingdom, I hopped on the ferry to Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground, so I could do some research on the bus routes there, as that was the main point of contention as far as my data on Disney Transport.
Magic Kingdom if you're staying in Hold on to the silver handles. This is Stop 1500, servicing Cottontail Curve and the Meadows Recreation Area, where you'll find swimming, the light bar, and campfire program.
Disney has great bus countdown clocks at their bus stops. Unfortunately, they are only at resort bus stops. They are not at the theme park, water park, and Disney Springs bus stations. And also, unfortunately, they do not have real-time tracking for internal resort shuttles. Also, unfortunately, they do not have this real-time tracking for any of the other modes, and there's no way to get this real-time tracking information except for at those countdown clocks. I screwed up the timing of getting to the airport, so I might have to take an Uber or go a really weird circuitous route to get there. Whoopsie daisy. I'm hopping to take a Lyft. I missed the bus to the airport, but The Lyft loop is actually the old bus loop from before they redid Disney Springs, or before they redid downtown Disney into Disney Springs. You can see it's the old bus loop. The new one is much bigger. Yeah. The Brightline station, not in the way I would have hoped, but I'm really early, which means I have time to get food and film the terminal, which is a plus, I guess. I'm taking a class on urban sustainability, so seeing a LEED certification out in the wild is really interesting, and I wanted to share it here. I found it interesting that on the walk in the passageway between Terminal C and the Brightline station, the moving walkways, or walk travelators, sorry, are elevated and not flush with the ground. I thought that was interesting. On the Brightline train, there are unfortunately dots at my seat. Other than that, the trip was really cool. I'll get to the interior and comfort of the train later, as I'm going to be doing some comparisons between different operators and between business and first class on Brightline. Uh, the other thing of note that happened on the trip is that the emergency brake was activated a couple times. Presumably, there were some close calls with cars on the tracks, because welcome to Florida. We arrived in Miami perfectly on time, and now it was time to head on over to the airport via a circuitous route so I could take Miami-Dade Transit instead of taking Brightline's shuttle. I would like to add that metro rail stations have insanely nice passenger information displays. Like, probably among the nicest I've seen anywhere. Honestly, they are incredible. Sorry, that's a little bit of a tangent, but I just wanted to harp on that, or I guess opposite of harp on that. Whatever I can't say the word I want to say on YouTube, that abomination of a highway construction is. I hate it. It's probably express lanes. Oh my, oh, it's horrible, horrible. The point that the orange line or airport branch splits from the green line or the main line is actually a flying junction. I wasn't entirely sure whether it was a flying junction before seeing it in person, but I am pleasantly surprised that it is, as it allows for a smoother flow of trains through the junction. You'll see another angle of this flying junction in the footage from the next day. Note the lack of third rail cover. This third rail design should have a cover, but it doesn't in places. I find it interesting that the ticket vending machine, or TVM, used on Tri-Rail is the exact same design as the one used on MARTA, although not for long, as they are being replaced. And if I remember correctly, they're also the same ones used on Miami-Dade Transit and the Patco Speed Line in the Philadelphia metro area. I guess it was some sort of standardized design, but it was a nice little bit of familiarity to hear the same sounds as the ones you hear on the MARTA TVMs. Another thing, this little thing didn't accept card, so I had to pay in cash. I fortunately had a $1 bill uh, in my wallet that I could use to pay the 50-cent fare. Thank you, Tri-Rail, for having a cheap transfer discount. But it's still annoying not to be able to use my card. For some reason, this top view of a Tri-Rail Bombardier bi-level car is giving me "It's the backside of water" vibes from the Jungle Cruise. No clue why, but it is. Also, the fare gates they have on Metro Rail are the exact same fare gates they have in London, complete with both accepting tap to pay instead of just their transit agency's card. If this button is to be believed, the MIA mover, which links the main part of the airport to the airport station, operates in an on-demand mode late nights, which is very interesting. I don't know that I've seen that at any other airport people mover. I made it to my hotel room for the night. The check-in counter was kind of hard to find. There was one more thing I wanted to say. Oh yeah, the Tri-Rail ticket vending machine accepted cash only. It didn't let me pay with a card. It was only 50 cents because I got the transfer from Metro, but it's still annoying that I had to pay cash. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. It's time for Miami Transit Day. You can see my view out the window of the airport. This plane taking off or landing, I think landing over there. Today we're going to be exploring Miami's transit as well as going to the Gold Coast Railroad Museum, where I'll get the opportunity to drive one of their trains, which will be very fun. Yeah, I think that's it. So, yeah, let the transit shenanigans continue. The Miami Intermodal Center, or Miami Airport Station, however you want to call it, is gorgeous. It's such a well-designed station, which I guess makes sense because it was all master planned. Like the metro rail platform is all wide, super wide to accommodate high traffic from airport peoples. And it's all just really well done. It's not I don't have any footage of it, but the bus bays are also really.
The elevators at SunRail station is out of service. Please exit the north side station. Ascend systems are enforced to continue your journey. The elevators at SunRail station is out of service. Please exit the north side station. Ascend systems are enforced to continue your journey.
Here's the other angle of that flying junction between the orange and green lines. I lack footage of it, but I accidentally got off my bus to the bus and train filming area too late, so I had to walk. Whoops. This was the first time I've seen a rooster in real life, I think. And yes, it was cock-a-doodle-dooling. After filming buses, Metromover, and Metro Rail at the bus station located just south of Government Center Metro Rail Station, I decided to go film front window views of the Metromover. Unfortunately, the inner loop was not running due to track maintenance. And then when I was going to do the Omni loop, they announced that it was having severe delays, so I decided to skip it. So I only got a front window view of the Brickle loop. That will be a separate video. Um, so yeah, that'll be out separately later. With the filming at the Brickle Loop out of the way, it was time to head to the Gold Coast Railroad Museum, which would be accomplished via taking Metro Rail to the south terminus at Dadeland South, and then taking the 601 Metro Express BRT to the Coral Reef Drive station, where I would take an Uber to the museum. There's a bike path running under the viaduct of Metro Rail for a lot of its journey in the south, which I really like. Some more really good passenger information screens at the BRT stations. Although unfortunately the BRT lacks transit signal priority at most of the day, which, as someone who just rode it, is really annoying. The bus will pick up a bunch of speed and then it'll stop. And they'll pick up a bunch of speed and then it'll stop. I then spent several hours at the Gold Coast Railroad Museum in South Miami. I got to talk to some of the staff and go over their collection with them. I was really impressed with this museum. They have a lot of cool stuff on display, and their staff are really nice and knowledgeable. I especially want to thank Coley and Donovan, as they were the train crew members who helped me with my engineer experience where I got to drive the train. I'm going to show some of the best pictures from the museum that I took here. The rest of them will be in a photo gallery video releasing later. And I will also show the best clips from me driving the train. Once again, that full video will be uploaded later. What?
Great cresting horn. Wait, one more. Short. Go long. Okay, done. I don't know where they are, but they're out here somewhere. Slow on the brake. Careful. A little closer. Ready to run one?
Step 2, I still need 10 more feet.
Little more, little more.
5.
Yeah, no, keep going. Keep going.
Easy stop number 2.
Ready? Idle and brake. All the way over one horn. Alright, you're gonna stop at the same mark you just stopped at. Go down to idle. Brake all the way over. You go.
Step 2, bottom side is clear, clear, continue pulling forward to CSX.
Driver's side's clear. We'll see us next number 2. Bell. Run one, take off. Number 2. Turn the bell off.
We're on a jiggly micro truck minibus. This route is usually run by Mini Gilligs, but I guess they have a truck minibus running it for this one. Yeah. About to start laughing because it's so funny that I accidentally made my way into getting a jiggly truck minibus. Should also mention the fare machine is out of order on this bus. With the jiggliness out of the way, I should now probably mention what I'm doing on a truck minibus. This is the bus route that will take me back to the BRT, which will then take me back to Miami to catch my train. The new Metro Rail trains have almost the same door closing beeping chime as the New York City subway, which is funny. Although I guess a lot of transit systems have that as their doors closing chime. Alright, we have now reached the comparison point of the video where I will be doing two comparisons involving Brightline. The first comparison will be between Brightline's first and business classes. I forget what they actually call them, but just their first and business classes. I took their business class on the way down to Miami, and I took their first class on the way up to Orlando. The biggest difference, in my opinion, is just the amount of food you get. They throw lots of free food your way when you're in first class, and you get basically no food for free when you are in business class. You also get bigger seats with more legroom, and the seat material is a little bit nicer. Um, and those food is you also get access to a first class lounge when you're in Miami and Orlando, and the first class lounge has even more food and drinks, and including a self-serve beer tap, which is interesting. Um, that's really the comparison. The announcements and all that kind of stuff is the same between all with both classes, and same with the bathrooms. It's really just what happens at your seat. Oh, and but first class has 1x2 seating, so you can have seats with a row to yourself, and business class is 2x2 seating. I do want to add that also included in the first class ticket is alcohol on board the train, which I did not partake in because I personally don't want to drink alcohol. And they also have meals, neither of which were of interest to me, so I got the pictured cheese and cracker tray instead.
Car located in the seatbelt. This car provides important information for emergency exit locations, evacuation procedures, and what to do in the event of an emergency. Knowing this information before it is needed helps ensure a safe and orderly response for everyone on board. Smoking and vaping are strictly prohibited anywhere on board and property. Noises, voice.
The other comparison I'd like to make is between Brightline, Amtrak long distance, specifically the Amfleet 2s, and National Rail in the UK, specifically LNER, Avanti West Coast, and Lumo. So I took notes during my trip up north to Orlando about some of the things I wanted to compare. So I'll go ahead and just list those off to you. First of all, the seats. Brightline seats are more comfortable than National Rail seats, at least the National Rail seats that I've ridden on, and they are about the same comfort level as Amtrak. And this is between Brightline business class, Amtrak coach, and National Rail coach, I should say. As far as seat pitch goes, Amtrak obviously has the most, followed by Brightline and then National Rail. Amtrak seats can recline very far, National Rail can recline a little tiny bit, and Brightline seats do not recline. The seat size and stuff is mostly due to UK trains being a lot smaller than American trains. The tray table on Brightline is gargantuan, about medium size on Amtrak and quite small on National Rail. As far as the interior atmosphere of the trains go, there are very bright lights on National Rail, calm lights on Brightline, and a mix of both on Amtrak. For ticketing, there are fare gates on Brightline. There's a mix of fare gates and checking tickets on board for National Rail, and tickets are always checked on board for Amtrak National Rail trains. Amtrak long distance, and by on board I mean they check as you board. Security-wise, there's none on National Rail and Amtrak, and there's a little bit on Brightline. Seat width is roughly the same between National Rail and Brightline, probably owing to the fact that Brightline's cars are based off European cars. And then the seats are huge on Amtrak. The aisles are narrow on Amtrak and National Rail and wide on Brightline. There are big windows on National Rail and Brightline and medium windows on Amtrak, and unfortunately there are dots on many of Brightline's cars. For onboard food and drink, Amtrak has its cafe car. National Rail, at least Avanti West Coast and LNER, have a snack cafe section of one of the cars. And then Lumo has at-seat service. I know other National Rail operators have different combinations of those as well. Brightline has at-seat service similar to Lumo. Interestingly, Brightline uses the same carts as planes they use for their seat service, and I know that because I saw a sticker on the cart that said, "Must be stowed during taxi, takeoff, and landing." For announcements, there's a mix of automated and manual announcements on National Rail and Brightline, whereas Amtrak announcements are all manual. The bathrooms on Brightline are spacious, as well as on National Rail, and they are quite small and cramped on Amtrak. As far as smoothness of the ride goes, National Rail is very smooth, Amtrak is very bumpy, owing to the poor condition of freight rail tracks. And Brightline is smooth on its dedicated tracks and somewhat bumpy on the Florida East Coast tracks. For passenger information, Brightline has passenger information displays, National Rail has dot matrix displays, and Amtrak has nothing. National Rail has reservation indicators above the seats, and Amtrak and Brightline do not. Lastly, for the doors, there are automatic sliding doors on Brightline and National Rail, and the doors on Amtrak are manual. Actually, one more thing I didn't put on the list, but I want to say, is on Brightline you have level boarding with a high-level platform. On National Rail in the UK, you have a massive step up into the train despite having a high-level platform, and Amtrak you have to go up a small flight of stairs to get into the train.
Hello, everybody. Today is the Disney Transport Speedrun, and to celebrate the occasion, I'm wearing my Epcot shirt. I will be posting the full uncut speedrun on YouTube as a separate video. I will also be adding the stripped down highlights version to this vlog. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the speedrun, and I also hope to future me that nothing goes horribly wrong, which it probably will. I've got the bus all to myself. No one else is on the bus, at least for now. Alright, we're going to our bus stop. Damn, I just missed the Internal Resort Shuttle. But the good news is it exists. Let's see if I can get there in time. Cut across the parking lot. I see the bus stop. Come on. Make it. Alright. I think I made it. Where is it? Hey, Gillig Bar. So I have learned an interesting thing. There is a stop that up to now I didn't know existed. There is a bus stop at the Skyliner station that is only served by the internal resort shuttle. So I will need to make sure to add that to the map. I'm actually going to add that to my Disney Transport notes right now. Walk through the parking lot, I think, to get over to music. Let's see what the sign says.
Final end time 9:31 and 35 seconds. With that, we have visited every single Disney Transport stop, with the exception of Creekside Meadow and Typhoon Lagoon, as those stops are currently closed. I need to go to bed now. With the Disney Transport Speedrun complete, all that was left was to spend time with my family before catching a really, really ridiculously early flight back to Atlanta.
like to welcome you to Atlanta. The local time here is 9:17 a.m. Please remain seated, seatbelts fastened, carry-on items stowed until the aircraft is parked at the gate and the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign. Remember to use caution when opening overhead bins to avoid injury from items that may have shifted during our flight. Before exiting the aircraft, take a look on your seating area, especially in those seat pockets. Make sure you have everything you brought on board with you. In the next several days' time, you may receive an email survey from Delta. We value your feedback and use your responses to continually improve your travel experiences. On behalf of Delta Airlines SkyTeam, our global partners, and your Orlando-based crew, pleasure having you with us today. We hope you have a great stay in the Atlanta area, wherever your travels may take you. We look forward to seeing you on another Delta flight very soon. Our arrival this morning will be into gate B31, Bravo 31. If you are making a connection, be sure to reference overhead monitors as you exit the jetway. Uniform Delta Gate agent will also be greeting the flight, happy to assist with any questions that you might have. Checked bags can be claimed today at baggage carousel number 4. Flight attendants disarm doors for arrival, cross-check, and stand by for all call.